Anybody want to confirm?
Pull up YouTube.
Inception. Which Anita will be joining us.
Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry. Why am I echoing? Do you hear that?
I can't see your video for the other one. I can only see your video for one.
I believe we are live.
Okay, well, I'll just start us off. So this is Ballet Bharatanatyam. We're quite a few weeks in, but we usually do half a session, half an hour ballet and half an hour of Bharatanatyam. In this class, we really touch upon a lot of the basics and technique, and we really just have fun with it. A lot of posture, stamina, and just a lot of those foundations and building blocks. And at any point, we kind of go back and forth. We sometimes go back a little bit, strengthen things, and then go forward as well. So today we'll actually be doing 1 full hour of Bharatanatyam, and we do this periodically, maybe every month and a half or so. It varies. So just to start us off, my name is Anjali and I'm one of the Bharatanatyam instructors.
Hi, my name is Shruti and I'm also one of the Bharatanatyam instructor and I use the pronoun she, her.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna join again because I'm confused, but I'm Anita. I'm another Bharatanatyam instructor and I use she, her, but I think I'm echoing. So I'm gonna leave and I will come back.
Jackie, I'm one of the ballet instructors and I use the pronoun she, her.
And I'm Kristen. I'm one of the ballet instructors and I use she, her.
Cool. Sounds good.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, what happened was I had 2 different Zoom windows popped up on my computer and that's why I was echoing and that's why I was so confused.
Welcome back, Anita.
I joined the meeting like 2 separate times and I could like see myself on one video and not see myself on other. Anyways, I'll figure it out. I'm here and get to go.
Good. We have Anita with us. Let's get started. We'll start with Namaskaram then for today. So for anybody joining new with us today, we do Namaskaram at the beginning of class and at the end of class. It's just kind of a way, just an auspicious way to kind of begin. And it is pretty simple. So we'll start with our hands in front of our chest at chest level in Katakamukaha. Again, your ring finger and your pinky are up and your middle finger and your pointer finger join with your thumb. And you'll be doing them on both sides and they kind of face each other. So if you've not done this before, please follow along and I'll try to go a little bit slowly today. Talangu taka dimi taka tadinginatom, taka dimi taka janu, 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 dam. All right, and we will do this also again at the end of class. And if you go back to previous videos as well, you'll get a little bit review of that. Just as a quick reminder, so we haven't gone over this for quite a few weeks, is whenever we're standing, this is samam. Our basic posture when we have our toes turned out to the side, again, nice hips and your knees turned out and in a nice sitting position. This is Adamandi. And then if we keep going all the way down and we let our heels lift from the ground a bit, again, what is natural for you as an individual, this is called Mudamandi. So those are the 3 postures that we kind of saw in this entire step. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started and I'll just ask Anita and Shruti once, the other instructors. So I believe we'll start with Nade, and then today we're actually gonna go back to Natadu as a little bit of a review and Shruti will be doing Sholukata for us. So Shruti and Anita, if you maybe just wanna think if we wanna do 1 through 4 or 5 through 8 in this time, but we'll start with Nade. So Nade is basically to walk. Typically, we just choose a good back corner, whatever space that you're dancing in right now. You'll have your hands behind your back. From the back, it should look like this. You don't want your fingers kind of wiggling out to the sides. Fingers wiggling out to the sides. You want them nicely hidden behind you. Again, kind of roll the shoulders back. We don't want our shoulders up here for anything we do today. We just kind of want them in a nice relaxed position, but our back straight. And then each step we take will be going from heel to toe. We want to give a nice bounce with every step that we take. So what that would look like is, again, heel to toe, and gradually the back foot will lift as well. Heel to toe, and the back foot lifts as well. So we'll be doing this in 2 different speeds, and I will be giving a talam, which is the beat, and so please follow on. Talangu taka dimi taka tadingi natom, taka dimi taka janu, 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 taka dimi. All right, one more time, a little bit faster. Again, as you can see, I kind of used the space, came up to a good middle. If you want to be, go a little bit more wide or more narrow, that's up to you. So one more time, maybe the same speed, maybe a little faster. Talangu taka dimi taka tadingi natom, taka dimi taka janu, taka dimi taka janu. Taka dimi taka janu, 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 taka dimi. All right, so if you've been with us, we kind of do that every week as a nice little warm up. Maybe I'm saying it and doing it, so I'm a little bit more out of breath. So we'll start with Nataravu this week. Shruti, Anita, any thoughts?
I guess I'm open to either. We could, I guess, if Jackie and Kristen, do you want to give your input? Like, would you rather do 1 through 4 or 5 through 8? Or another option we could do, which we didn't talk about, but we could do like 1 through 4, take a break, and then 5 through 8.
5 to 8, yeah. I can jump into, yeah.
But one of us can, take over. I don't know, thoughts?
I'd love to go through all of them.
Okay.
Because then I can like get it in my head a little more. Was that one of the options? Was that the 1 through 4, take a break, 5 through 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
So for those, if you've learned this with us before, if this is new this week, there are 8 kind of sets in this Aravu. Aravu are different groups, I would say, of moves, and each kind of group has maybe this one has 8 sets. Another one we've learned has had 4 sets. So it varies the number of sets within each grouping, and each grouping is called an Aravu. So that's kind of what we're referencing right here. In this class, we have now learned all 8. And so as a warm-up, different weeks, we sometimes do 4 of something, 2 of something. And actually, traditionally in a dance, a lot of these Aravus are combined to make a dance. So I guess today we'll be doing actually a review of all 8. So I'll keep myself unmuted, and Shruti and Anita, you guys can also explain and kind of walk me through. We'll maybe review 1 through 4 together and then take a break, like we said.
Yeah, and I was going to say, did you want to dance 1 through 4 then, or do you want me to, Anjali? What would be?
Actually, yeah. Do you want to dance 1 through 4, and I can do 5 through 8? Okay.
Yep. And if you want to talk through, I don't know, just any reminders or tips and stuff.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you for offering that. All right, Anita should be in the spotlight. So 1 through 4, I would say 1 and 2 are very similar. Again, it's just a good general review for everybody. To me, in my mind, 1 and 2 are very similar, 3 and 4 is very similar. So 1 and 2, we'll just start with 1. Our hands are in that Natya Ramba position where our arms are nicely curved, and you're getting that nice shape. Again, shoulders don't come up, the shoulders stay down, the elbows are nicely up. And yes, Anita's doing a nice little exercise where you can kind of roll the shoulders back and set them down. And then you kind of have a nice arc with the hands. And again, it's almost like a string is pulling at your fingertips. And therefore you kind of get that nice flare of the fingertips right there. So our hands will pretty much be in this posture for most of at least some part of all of the sets in this Adavu. So it's important to, if you're at home, really practice this for later on. So the end of our hand, our actual palm is going to be in is going to be in Tripataka. Tripataka is when our ring finger is down. Thumbs are still tucked in. And again, it may feel weird at first as your first time doing it, but just try to the best of your ability to kind of keep that, monitoring that ring finger on both sides and making sure they're down. How much they go down, again, will vary per person. Try not to hurt yourself or anything. So again, your hands are going to be in the position the arms are going to be in the position we talked about, and the hand at the end is going to be in that Tripataka position. We'll be sitting in Adamandi overall. So now just to show the feet. Thank you. So now just to show the feet, she is in that Adamandi position that I kind of mentioned earlier, where the hips and the knees are turned out as well as the toes. For this first one, all we're going to be doing is we're going to take our right foot out and nicely fold the leg. When we say fold the leg, we basically mean that your foot kind of kicks back nicely. And it's basically, you pick it up and you place it basically with intention, right? And so you're going to nicely fold the leg and place it, right? And then you're still sitting down just as much as you were previously. So it's a lot of that quad muscle work. And then you'll bring the foot back to the position that it was at with a nice stamp of the foot. A lot of us are dancing on carpet here. So traditionally this is usually done on a solid floor, but if you are on carpet at home, that is okay too. Just maybe, stamp a little softer than usual. Same thing we're gonna do on the left side. We're gonna kick, nicely fold the left leg and place it out. When we place it out, another thing is the heel is the one that's on the ground and the toes nicely come up. I wouldn't say that you need to flex the toes too much. It's kind of what's natural, but it's definitely not pointed. It's more lifted. So this step is really just, so she'll go once out to the right, just take a little break if sitting hurts for a little bit, and then we'll go up, come back and go out to the left and come back. All right, so just to go over the hands now, so that's just the feet movement. Just to go over the hands now for this one. This one is going to be out to the right. So what that means is that you're going to flip the right hand open. And if you've done this with us before, what we do traditionally is we look at that hand that flips open. And if you're not comfortable with that, just look straight for now. And then you're going to flip the left hand and then close it.
I have a question on the footwork from YouTube. When you mean stamp, is it flat or heel first?
Flat. Good question. Yep. So the stamp is just when you're bringing it back, it's just back flat to the position where you started. All right. Hopefully that answered the question. If not, definitely keep asking. We're definitely able to stop and keep going through this. So kind of with the feet.
Sorry, Anjali, one thing I just wanted to mention too that's helpful when you're doing this, I think Anjali touched on it, but you're really holding your core tight and you're not moving this at all. You're really just like, this should be kind of in place. And when you fold, it's almost like a butt kick. Like obviously don't go that high. That's not what we're aiming for, but just like a fold out with intention and then put it back and fold out and put it back. And I think like, if anything, if this is your first time, if this is new for you, don't worry about the hands. I think that's the most important thing is to just focus on that feet and just focus on that movement and kind of practice that again and again. So
yeah, definitely. So what the hands and feet will be doing together, if you're comfortable to kind of put them together, is like you can see, when that right hand flips up is when you're going to place your leg out. And then when the hand flips back down is when the foot comes back. Similarly, on the left side, when the left foot comes out, the left hand flips. And again, if you feel comfortable looking straight, definitely stick to that. And when the left hand flips back down, the foot comes back in. So just to kind of explain the first one, all we're doing is we're doing one on the right, one on the left, and repeating that. Traditionally, in most of these sets, there's 8. So this one, because it's pretty simple and we're just going back and forth, we just keep going right, left, right, left. If this is your first time, you can do that until basically the music stops. The second one is very, very similar to the first. All you're doing for the second one is you're actually just doing double on one side. So you would go out to the right and back, again out to the right and back, and then you'd go out to the left and back, and again out to the left and back. This one ends up being a little bit shorter because, of course, you're doing 2 on each side. But today, if that's your first day, don't worry too much about how many times we're doing each side. Really try to kind of get, I would say, feet first, and then second would be, if you're able to, definitely add in the hands. All right, anything, Shruti, you think we're missing to explain for the first and second? I know that was like a little fast forward on the first and second, a little quick version of them. We'll quickly go through 3 and 4. Again, we're kind of moving along today, but please do as much as you're able to. So 3 and 4, again, are kind of similar to each other, just like 1 and 2 were. 3 and 4, we're going to use the same concept from the first and second. We're going to go out to the right and back, and out to the left and back. Now we're actually going to bring in the right hand, and it's still flipped down, to just kind of bringing it to chest level. And your right toe comes behind that left foot. Yeah, a little back. Yep. The right toe comes behind the left foot, and that is 1 beat. And then the left foot stamps as your next beat, as your 4th beat. Yep. And while that left foot in front stamps, the hand is going to flip up. And then now, again, similar to what we did in the first and the second, we're just going to place our hand back where it was, but this time flipped up, because it was flipped up when it was back at around our chest area. And then we're going to place it back down and bring our foot back simultaneously. So that's kind of the 8 count. We'll do that one more time just to show on the left side we can do, and I'll just count. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that toe comes back, 6, you're going to stamp with the opposite foot, and 7, everything goes out again, and 8, we bring it back to our starting original position. So that's kind of our 8 count there, and there's 8 counts on both the right side and 8 counts on the left side. One more time doing that one on the right side, so it's going to be 1 out to the right, 2 back, 3 out to the left, 4 back, 5 that right toe comes behind, 6 the left foot stamps, and 7 the hand goes out, the leg goes out, and 8 everything comes back to the starting position. All right, and then now to quickly review the 4th. So the 4th is very similar to the 3rd. So just like the second, we kind of did double of the first. The 4th is just going to be double of the 3rd. So this time we're going to do 2 out to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to 2 on the left, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to do the right hand and the right foot go behind, 1, 2. For 3 and 4, we're actually just going to do that again. So it's going to be like toe stamp, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now again, out to the right side, we're just going to do double, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. So that one is probably, I would say it feels a little bit longer because you almost have 2 sets of 8 within just the right side itself. All right. Okay, any questions online or on Zoom so far on those ones? Again, if anything feels a little too complex, like Anita said, the best suggestion for these ones is to just focus on the feet first, especially if this is your first time kind of with the toe and being behind that foot, and that kind of complexity might feel weird right now. And so maybe we'll do it really, really slow, just the first one and the second one. And then maybe we'll take a little break and do the first and second again, or move on to the 3rd and the 4th. We'll just kind of feel it out how it's going. Yep.
Yeah, something I wanted to add too is like, don't feel free to jump in and ask questions. Don't feel like slowing us down or anything. It's not the case at all. We want to be here for you. So just wanted to throw that out there. And also use this as an opportunity. If you are doing hands, right? Remember, Anjali was mentioning shoulders down, keep your core tight. When you hold your hands up, I kind of noticed too, like sometimes I was accidentally dropping my elbows. Just make sure you don't drop your elbows. Like you're kind of keeping it kind of straight. Sorry, my computer is wanting to update. But yeah, and stiff hands as well. And hands away from the body when you're bringing it close. Anything that I might have missed, Anjali or Shruti?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, perfect.
All right, maybe we'll do the first one. We'll just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when we do repeat 1 and 2 again, we'll do the sholukuta, which is kind of what the official words are that would go with it. So we will start. So again, hands up. Okay. Dalang taka de mitakata de ginatom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's move on to the second one. That looked good so far. Okay, the second one again is just double on each side. So dalang taka de mitakata de ginatom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, looks great. So we're gonna try that one more time, just with the sholukuta. It's the same thing. Again, I'm trying to snap or clap a little bit so that feels, you can hear the beat. But again, just kind of watch Anita to follow along. So again, just same thing, starting back from 1. Dalangutaka de mitakata de ginatom te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta. Again, te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta. Okay, that actually was really, really good. Everyone did a great job. We're gonna try the second now. So that's just 2 on every side. I'm actually this time just gonna go straight to sholukuta because I think we actually already did this one with 1, 2, 3, 4, if I remember. Okay, so one more time the second. Dalangutaka de mitakata de ginatom te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta. Again, te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta te yum ta. All right, everyone, maybe stand up for a couple seconds, shake it out, give yourself a little break, and we will try 3 and 4.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Okay, so hands. So you're putting your middle finger down, and then when it's out, So when it's out, it's like angled, but when you face it in, is it straight to the audience? Or?
A really good question. Yeah, because when I'm flipping this, it's like this part of my arm is pretty stationary and I'm just kind of flipping my forearm. So when I'm saying a flip, I'm not saying a flip like this. It's more of like a flip to the audience.
Okay.
Yep. Good question.
Yeah, I think I was flipping down. So
really good question. And also I would agree with Anita that it definitely just takes practice to move only the forearm basically and not the upper arm, which is kind of a little bit of a weird movement. Okay, any other questions? Okay, cool. Let us do 3 and 4. We'll do them just with counts. And then we'll try them, maybe if we try 3 with counts. With 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we can do it sholukuta after. So again, if this one is hard to put the hands and feet together, just try to focus on the feet. All right. Dalangutaka de mitakata de ginatom. 1, 2, 3, 4. That right hand comes in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Left side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Left hand comes in, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, since we're already in that rhythm, let's do it one more time, but with Sholukata. Okay? Dalangu taka di mitaka da dingena dom dei yum da dei yum da dei yum da dei yum da. Left side, dei yum da dei yum da. Left hand comes in, dei yum da dei yum da. Okay, good. Let's try the fourth since we're kind of also still going with that. Again, fourth is just 2 of each. So 2 on the right side, 2 on the left side, and then when that hand comes in, we're going to kind of just double everything. All right, so let's just try that with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Talangu taka dimi taka ta dingina dom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left side now. 5, 6. Again. 7, 8. Right hand comes in. 1, 2. Again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try the left side. 1, 2. Again left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left hand comes in. 1, 2. Repeat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, since this one we were sitting solid pretty continuously, just shake it off again for a couple seconds. We're just going to do that one more time just for memorization purposes with Sholukata.
I was just going to say something that I'm noticing too, because I haven't done this for a long time.
Yes.
And they're getting tired. Sometimes I notice myself, oops, I accidentally flip my elbow or I drop it. So
Yeah.
As I'm making those mistakes, I'm like, okay, good reminders, right? Even when you catch yourself, just make sure to not flip the entire thing. And also sometimes when you bring it in, it's nice. It doesn't hurt as much as keeping it out, but don't drop it. Mm-hmm. Bring it in a plane. So just 2 things about myself I noticed and wanted to share it with the rest of the group.
Yeah, really good tips. And also, I feel like when I do this one, and maybe we'll see it for 5 through 8, is I find myself, because this one is very stationary, in comparison to, we've kind of learned Pakkadavu and a couple other adavus that are a little bit, we start to introduce some movement. Stationary meaning we're definitely moving, but our feet are kind of going out and then coming back to center. I start to rise from that Adamandi sitting position. So just reminding yourself to sit. And again, what that sitting position looks like is the toes, the knees are both out. And you kind of have, as much as you can, you kind of let the hips be a little bit on the wider side and nicely sit into that posture. You don't really want to, again, also if you can show from the side, Anita, once, if you turn to the side once. So when she sits also nicely, her back is nice and straight. We want to try to make sure that we're not bending forward at all, or any part of our bottom half we don't want sticking out too much. We kind of want to maintain, even though our, again, hips are turned out, knees are turned out, our posture and our back is still straight. So again, our bottom half is not sticking out to the rear side at all. Right. I think I said we do 4 one more time. Yeah. 4 one more time, but we'll do it with Sholukata this time. Again, so this is just the double of 3. All right. So talangu taka dimi taka ta dinginatom te yum ta te yum ta left te yum ta te yum ta yum ta again te yum ta out te yum ta te yum ta left side te yum ta te yum ta right te yum ta te yum ta left hand te yum ta repeat te yum da, te yum da, te yum da. Ooh, good. If you've been sitting this entire time, give yourself a pat on the back. I've been here watching and feeling the pain through watching. So maybe it's my turn now. All right, Shruti or Anita, anything you guys want to add in? And anybody on either Zoom or YouTube have any questions? And again, even within these things, no need to wait till the end. If you have questions in between, definitely feel free to stop us. Okay, I think we are good then to move on to 5 through 8. So Shruti and Anita, if you guys want to explain that together, and I can kind of demonstrate.
Yeah, Shruti, if you want to go first, I'm just drinking some.
No, take a break. Yeah, take a break. Yep.
Switch the spotlight here.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are a little bit different from the first 4. Each of the step is kind of like different. It doesn't have like a continuity, but you will see some of the leg movements from the 3rd or the 4th incorporated within 5, 6, and 7. So the 5th one is, I would not say same exactly like the 4th one, but still like instead of putting your leg outside, you put it to the front and then you bend. So first let's go only with the feet movements. So it's like, yeah, Anjali showing it in the side way, but generally it's going to be like, it's going to look like the front. Yep. That is the first beat. And then you stamp your left leg for the second. And then the third will be like bringing back the right leg on your place and a stamping. And again, like a 4th leg stamp on your left. And then twice outside on the right. Yep. Yeah. So let's do it one more time on the right. And yeah, you go front, you go forward, down, and you stamp your left. Bring back your right, stamp your left again, and then twice right side, you do it out. Yep. Yeah. And when you're kind of like bringing back your right leg from the front, make sure that you give a stamping there, like you stomp there. And yeah, like Anjali showing, then yeah, that kind of like a thing should be there, like a stamping should be there because it's a talam or a count there.
So it looks like Jill has a question. I'm going to read it. Do you get out of the sitting position when folding, or is it like chair pose? So I think you're referring to when you bend down, kind of going there. You're still sitting. That's a really good. You're not moving at all. The difference is now instead of to the side, you're doing it to the front. And the reason you kind of do like a controlled lean, as Anjali is doing, you don't slouch. I think it's a good maybe kind of reference to chair pose where it's, yeah, you're kind of going forward, but not slouching or anything. So
yeah. Let's do the left. It's similar to the right. You keep your left leg forward, give a small bend there, and then stamp your right leg. And then bring back your left leg. And again, stamp your right leg. And then twice out on your left leg. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's do with the counts, just the feet, and then we will incorporate the hands, and then maybe like do it with the shoulder cutter. Talangu takati kutakata dingina tom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just let me know if I'm going too fast, but otherwise it looked good. Let's do the hands now. And this step will kind of like have like 3 mudras in your hands. So the starting will be like you'll have 3 pataka when it goes on the side, but in the beginning you will have kataka mukha, like in the chest level to begin with. Yeah. So when you bend forward, it's going to go to Alapadma. Anjali, do you want to just show it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your first one will be near your chest in Kataka. And then when you bend forward, it will change to Alapadma. And then you stamp your left feet. And then when you bring back again, and when you're stamping your right, it turns back to Katakamuka. And then when you're putting it out on your right side in your legs, it's going to change to Tripataka. Okay. Anita, do you want to add anything to it?
No, I was just gonna like reiterate it again, like just kind of do it as at your own level. So if hands at this point feels like too much, don't worry about it. Just kind of focus on it.
Okay. So
yeah, I'll do the hands and the feet together if we want to do it slowly together. But definitely, like I said, it's more important to really get that leg movement and just a slight slam. Again, it's not anything where you're slouching forward. Even for me, I just at least, if I can't do too much of a bend, I just try to do something light, but at least keep my posture intact. So again, just do the feet and a little bit of maybe that bending movement if you can, and add the hands later.
Sure. So I'll do the shoulder cutter now. Talang kutakadi kutakata dingina tom tai yum ta ta tai yum ta tai yum ta ta tai yum ta. Left tai yum ta ta tai yum ta tai yum ta ta tai yum ta. That looked good, everybody. Do you guys have any question in this? Anta, do you feel like we should do one more time, or should we go to the sixth one?
Either way, maybe I think once more would be good for a
Yeah, the sixth is simpler, so why not the fifth one more time?
Totally, yeah. Okay, let's do it one more time. Talang kutakadi kutakata dingina tom tai yum tat tat tai yum ta tai yum tat tat tai yum ta. Left tai yum tat tat tai yum ta tai yum tat tat tai yum ta. Good job, everyone. Looks good. Okay, let's move on to the sixth. Sixth is exactly same like the fifth in terms of feet movements, except the fact that when you're kind of like bringing your leg back, it's going to be behind your left leg. We can show the chain. So it's going to be like you go forward and then you stamp your left. And then when you need to take your right leg behind your left leg. Yeah. And then stamp your left again. And then twice outside on the right.
So it's kind of similar to the third and the fourth that we did, but also, I guess, similar to the fifth in terms of us going forward.
Yeah. So let's do it again, the right side. So you go forward for 1, you stomp for 2 on your left, you go behind your left for 3, and you stomp your left for 4, and then 5 is out, 6 is back, and 7 is out, and 6 is back to your position. And goes the same for the left side. We can do the left ones. So you go forward for 1, stamp your right for 2, bring your left behind your right for 3, stamp your left for 4, and out for 5, back to position for 6, and again out for 6, 7, and back to position for 8. Okay, and we can teach the hands too. So hands for this is pretty like the same. There's no changing of mudras in here, so it's going to be the same Tripataka mudra that we saw. So the first one, when you're kind of like going down, the right hand goes down along with your leg. Yeah. And then when you're kind of like bringing it back, it goes above your head. And make sure, yeah, exactly. Like it's just above your head. So make sure that's kind of like maintaining that posture that Anjali is showing when she's kind of like bringing it up. And also make sure that your left hand doesn't like fall down. Like it needs to be in the Natya Ramba position. Meanwhile, the left hand, Anjali, can you show the left hand also along with the right hand? Yeah. This is how it has to be. And then when you do twice outside, it's going to be like the fourth step. Just like turn it and turn it and put it back to position. Yeah.
Important thing with this, and it'll come in other steps in the future, is whenever you put your hand above your head, you want to make sure kind of like at your center level first off. So that yeah, it's not to the side, it's not to another side, it's kind of like right on the center if you were to like draw a string or something. And the second thing is, like, if you notice, Anjali's not keeping it so close to her head. She's kind of keeping it like there, and it's not completely stretched out. There is like a nice, almost, I don't know what angle, like maybe it's a little bit, I feel like it's greater than 90. I don't even think it's 90, but it's like a little bit, like, you don't want it too low where it kind of, you want to give the illusion of space. I think like that's what I've talked about a lot. And like, that's kind of one of those things, like where your hands are slightly away from your body. Similarly, like your hand is like slightly above your head, kind of.
And probably we didn't cover that today too, but even in the fifth one, or any time that we have our hands at chest level, we've said this in previous weeks, but we don't want it too close and hugging our chest like this. We want a little bit of that space. I think Anita put it really well just now. That illusion of space is what we're kind of trying to create here. So I'm just bending forward to show you, I guess, how much space there is technically between me and my hands, no matter what is in front of me. So,
yeah, good point.
I guess.
Do you want to?
Yeah, sorry. One other thing I wanted to add in for when the hand is above the head. And again, if you have a mirror or something at home, this can be something that after class today, it's really just nice to see, I guess, a lot of these types of angles, anything we do in these steps that require, a diagonal or, hands straight in one area, check it out in the mirror sometime. They can be interesting, I guess, where we think our hand is compared to where our hand actually is. Once you start practicing a little bit, I guess then you can get used to, okay, I can place my hand and it'll be there. But it was very interesting. I mean, at certain times you think you're at a diagonal, but you might be somewhere here instead of that nice diagonal. Right now for me, I also have the benefit of kind of seeing the Zoom screen right now, which is kind of similar to a mirror. So I encourage you to take a look in the mirror also when you're at home. That's it.
That's a good point. We can just go over the left hand once quick, and then maybe like do the hands and feet together and counts. So for the first one, you go front, yeah, 1 and 2, you directly take it back up. Sorry, 2 is stomping, and then 3. For 3, you should be, it should be up.
Yeah, I can do it if that helps. So
1, yeah, and 2 is a stomping, and then when you're taking it for 3, make sure you keep it in the center, and then it stays. Yeah, and then it stays for 3 and 4 there in the same place, and then it goes out, flip it back, 6, and again flip open, and then flip it back for 7 and 8. Let's do quick with counts with both feet and hand. Just try concentrating on your legs first. If you don't hit the hands, it's okay. We can get there slowly. So the main thing is just to kind of like get the Ardha posture along with the feet movement for the 6th step. Yep. Talang gutakadi gutakada dingina tom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look too good. Good job, guys.
One thing I wanted to add for this step. So if you guys noticed, we already kind of did it, but because we start here, there is a little prep. So technically 1, just in case you're wondering this at home, 1, the foot comes out on 1. So you do need to bring your hand in and then down. Again, just that's where the beat starts. So keep that in mind, I guess, when starting this step.
Yep. Cool. Let's do it with the shoulder cutter now. Talang gutakadi gutakada dingina tom tai yum ta ta tai yum ta tai yum ta ta tai yum ta. Left. Tai yum ta ta tai yum ta tai yum ta ta tai yum ta. Again, right? Te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta. Left, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta. Wow, that looked too good. Do you guys have any questions on this before we move to 7th and 8th?
Also, if you need at any point, grab a quick sip of water.
Yeah, totally. And Anita, you can
Okay.
take away for explaining the 7th and 8th.
I had a question.
Yeah.
I keep losing my balance. Is that just practice, or is it like putting most of your weight when you like lift it up behind you and things like that?
Did you say balance?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I keep losing my balance. Is that just like me practice?
It happens. No, it happens to everybody. Yeah, it's totally like practice. It takes time, but it's just like as you start sitting more like in Aramandi every day, like for 5 minutes or something, trying to get that posture straight, you will start getting the balance out there.
Yeah, definitely agree with Shruti. I mean, you can see myself, Anita, and Shruti as well. I mean, at least I can speak for myself. There are days when we're doing a certain Adavu that, you know, if I'm warming up definitely ahead of time, it's a really good idea. But it really just takes time getting used to Adamandi. And again, because we're doing a lot of these things where we're staying sitting, but we're putting our foot behind, and it's a lot of strength right here. And so there is the tendency to feel like you can fall this way, or there are days where I feel my legs trembling, just because again, we're starting with this movement, and even while keeping the foot here, the balance for me on this one is like stamping this foot, right? We want to keep sitting down, so it can be easy to, you know, feel imbalanced there. So yeah, definitely just practice.
Yeah, and I was just gonna add too, I'm trying to think about like, I wonder too, like if over time when you develop the calf muscles too, if that kind of helps with balance. It definitely isn't gonna happen immediately, but I feel like, I don't know, just kind of like continually sitting, I think like everybody's saying that practice will definitely help.
I would just say, as someone who used to fall a lot too, and I still do, it's sometimes easier when we get into the faster speeds because you don't have to hold it as long too. Like we're doing it so slow, it's more natural too. So I find it's easier with the faster speed sometimes too. So.
Totally, Jackie. Even I don't like doing it at the first speed. So whenever my teacher goes like speed 1 or like the first speed, I just don't like it. I'm like, just let's get to the third one. So you kind of like just move quickly. But yeah, just in order to kind of like maintain the posture and get our posture right, I think the first speed is kind of like where we start with, just to kind of like make sure our body's aligned with that moment.
And this is all really good for my stamina as well, because Shruti, every time you do like 2 sides and then you're like, one more time. I'm like,
sorry.
But yeah.
I feel like because for a long time I wasn't able to dance, so I feel like everything is coming back to me. You're like, one more time. I'm like, I'm dying, Anjali.
Yeah.
We do have 10 minutes left. So we could either go over 7 and 8, or we could maybe do something like hand gestures. It's really up to you guys.
I would say let's do something like hand gestures or something like that.
Yeah.
7 and 8 are just kind of they're also their own thing. I guess just as like a preview for the 5th, our hands have kind of been going in this motion. 6 also, we have a little bit of that turning out. 7, something that happens a little bit different if you're watching on YouTube and you never learned 7 before. We kind of go all the way out to the side. So we work a lot with this diagonal, but the second half is the same as what we already just did. 8th one is just completely different and kind of instead of maybe turning out to the diagonal this way, we actually come to the diagonal forward. So probably since we did this week, next week, we're actually probably just going to review 7 and 8 as part of our half hour for Bharatanatyam. So if you're interested in that, definitely come back. But again, that kind of wraps up this one grouping that we've learned today or reviewed today. And 7, 8 are kind of also a little bit of their own thing. So any other questions for this? And I guess we can spotlight over to
Anita.
Oh, Shruti's excited. Okay.
Yeah, I love doing this part with you.
Yeah, so hand gestures, as you've already seen, it's an important part of our steps or our adabus. So this is just kind of a series. We'll go through the single-handed gestures, but you can also do double-handed as well. So we'll go through just gestures with one hand. And I think like the important part in general with hand gestures is just making sure whatever you do, like you should almost feel like a resistance or a tension, like things should be very stiff. And it should feel like when I'm like, for instance, if I'm pointing this finger, I'm almost feeling like somebody is pulling that finger up. Like that's how tight I'm holding it almost, where I can like feel my muscles kind of tighten. So that's kind of what you're aiming for when you do hand gestures. So I'm just going to kind of go through, and if you guys are on mute and if you have been doing this for a while too and you want to say it along, feel free to say it along or try to, I think that some of you guys are kind of catching on to like what Kataka or Tripitaka and stuff is. Feel free to do that. If not, no worries, but just that was something that we used to practice saying so we would kind of remember. All right, so stop me if you have any questions. I'm going to start. So, Pataka. Tripatako. Keep your fingers tight, keep them close. Okay. Ardha Pataka. Kartari Mukaha. You take your middle and you take your pointer and kind of, it's almost like scissors is what you're doing. And holding these two together, your thumb is tucked in. Mayurakyo. Take, it's Tripataka, but touching your thumb, keeping those fingers that are up together. So Mayurakyo. Ardha Chandrascha. To the side, your thumb is up. Arala. Take your pointer and thumb together. Shukatundakaha. Keeping your pointer and your ring down and keeping this all again tight together. Thumb is tucked in. Mushchishcha. This is just a fist. Shikarakyascha, your thumb is sticking out. Kapita, pointer and your thumb are together, and these three fingers are down. Kataka Mukaha, so your pointer and your middle finger are touching your thumb. And then your ring and your pinky are kind of at this 45-degree angle, making sure that this is straight, like you feel the thumb is pointing out. So we have three Kataka Mukahas. This is the first one. This is the first Kataka Mukaha. Our second Kataka Mukaha is basically, I just think of taking these two, putting them down, and basically it's very similar to Kapita, except instead of keeping your thumb and pointer here, you kind of keep it here. Kind of loosely kept. This is supposed to be a bracelet. So this is your second Kataka Mukaha. And then your third Kataka Mukaha is you take your pointer and thumb, put it together, take your middle finger, put it down, and these two remain the same from the last one. So just keeping that all together. Yes, perfect. Suchi, Chandrakala, Padmakosha, Sarpashirastada. This is a snake head. You're moving it down. Mrigashisha. So your pointer is down in this one as well, and your thumb is out. And then Simha Mukaha. This one, yep. Bangu Lascha. So you basically take Tripataka and you kind of, I like to think of like squish it together. And then Alapad Makaha. So this, we just kind of take it. Perfect. So I think the next one is Chaturo. So this one, you just take your thumb and fold it over. Brahmaras Chaiva. Take your pointer and kind of put it in between your thumb here. Hamsasya. I think Hamsabakshakaha. I'm getting confused with the difference. Oh, sorry. Chaturo is, I messed it up. Yeah, I messed it up. Sorry, I knew something was off. Chaturo is basically what we do when we do Namaskaram. I'm sorry. It's this thumb and your thumb is here and then your three fingers are here. This is Chaturo. And then Hamsabakshakaha is what I messed up before. And so your thumb is over here. Perfect. Samdamsho Mukudaschaiva Tamrajuda. You keep your pointer curves like this. Trishulakaha. And then your pinky and your thumb are together. Perfect. And we'll do that on the left side too, to work both hands. So, okay. Pataka, Tripatako, Ardha Pataka. Keep your hands together and tight. Kartari Mukaha, Mayurakyo, Ardha Chandrascha, Arala, Shukatundakaha, Mushtischa, Shikarakyascha, Kapitta, Kataka Mukaha, Kataka Mukaha, Kataka Mukaha. So pointer and thumb are together, middle finger is down. And yeah, perfect. Suchi, Chandrakala, Padmakosha, Sarpashirastada, Mrigashisha, Simhamukaha, Pangulascha, Alapadmakaha, Chaturo, Brahmaraschaiva, Hamsasya, Hamsabakshakaha, Samdamsho, Mukulaschaiva, Tamrajuda, Trishulakaha. Yay! Good job, guys. So we're at 7:58, so we can go back to Anjali for Namaskaram. Any questions on hand gestures at all? Perfect. Good job, guys.
Sounds good. I'm glad we did hand gestures today. I was missing them. I really like hand gestures. All right. So we'll do what we did at the beginning of class, which is Namaskaram. And now that we've actually kind of gone through a couple of the sets within the group of the Adavu today, and we did also hand gestures, you'll also recognize some of these hand gestures now. So the first one we're going to start with is again just Kataka Mukaha, right at that chest level. And again, I'll kind of go as slowly as I did in the beginning. So just try to follow along as best as you can. Dalangu takadimi takatadigenatom takadimi takajanu 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 ta. Also, at any point on YouTube as well, if you have any questions about Namaskaram, we've just been kind of repeating it per week, but if any questions on that, also it's kind of a step in itself, definitely feel free to ask us and we can break it down again. All right, any questions for Bharatanatyam today altogether? We're right at 8. Back to gallery view so you can see all of our lovely faces.
Remind me again what we did today was called. The 8. We did only the 6, but there's 8 total. What's it called again?
Nata is like it's kind of a like the heel is kind of what it means, like, so the heel step essentially is what it translates to.
And in general, kind of like a little fun thing is when people say like pakadavu, Arvu and Pakka, they kind of, because Pakka ends in an A and Arvu starts with an A, people just kind of combine them together to say like that together, Pakka Arvu. So it really just depends on the word. We learned like Tattu Metadavu. You can kind of say together quickly, but again, it's just that it's technically two separate words, but because one ends in A and one begins with A letter-wise, people kind of say it together. But Nata, like Anita was saying, is that heel and that heel striking, which is kind of what that step is known for. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, we had fun too. That was a lot of fun.
Hazel joined in with the sixth one. She like had her hand above her head, and then she was trying to do like the one with like where she reaches down, and she kept on looking at her hands and her feet, and then looking at Anjali, and then like, back down again. It was really cute.
Cute. Yeah, thanks for joining everybody. Any announcements for the week? Anything anybody wants to share? If not, we are here on Wednesdays. Oh, sorry. I think I'm timing.
I was just gonna say, I think it's just the normal announcements, lots of cool SAATH swag. So if you're on YouTube, check out the banner below or go to saathmn.org.
Definitely.
This feedback, like this class is meant for you. If it's going too fast, too slow, definitely just make sure to leave a comment. We want to cater to you. So let us know.
Yeah, and I think also, like Anita was saying, for both ballet and Bharatanatyam, I think there's definitely weeks that we probably, if we're trying to get through a step or article in a shorter period of time, we might talk quick or talk fast and go through it quickly, but we can always slow it down for any week and just go back to, I mean, that's actually for everybody, it's kind of beneficial. I enjoyed today, just really kind of, again, it really worked my body to kind of take them like Jackie said, some of these slower paces, those are really where you feel it in your body. So I'm going to be feeling this tomorrow. Ramona.
Thank you all for teaching.
You're welcome. Excited for next week. All right. So yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time, United States time. I think that's it for today. Anybody have anything else?
I think next week we're going to do our more traditional like half an hour Bharatanatyam, half an hour ballet. But we kind of like to do this some weeks because you can really go in depth on one.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, everybody have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Bye.